Recorded my girlfriend while she was sleeping. I now know her horrifying secret. I've only been with my girlfriend a few weeks, but ever since we started dating, something has been off. She recently won a free sleep activity tracker at a company party, and although she's not crazy athletic or anything like that, she was excited to find out it tracks sleep behavior and patterns. She's always had a hard time sleeping. She told me it started when she was a little girl, but now it's just normal for her, so she's learned to live with it. We thought her trouble sleeping was just natural. Now we know it's so much worse. So we started tracking her sleep each night with the device. I would help her put it on her wrist each night. I didn't think much of it at all until a week or so after she was wearing it, she started complaining to me. "This stupid thing is broken," she had said while flipping through the app on her phone. I asked why, and she showed me. "See?" She pointed to this little circle graph thing. "This tracks the number of steps you take in a day." I just shrugged. How did that make it broken? "No, look." She pointed to another circle. It was the sleep tracking one, and it was all crazy. It showed that she had hardly been sleeping at all. Then she went on to explain that when she goes to bed, instead of tracking her sleep, her tracker counts it as steps. So basically she'd go to bed with about 8,000 steps and wake up with it saying she had like 11,000 or so. We kinda laughed it off. It was weird, but whatever, technology malfunctions. She stopped wearing it and went to get it exchanged. It must have had a warranty on it or something. Like I said, we hadn't been dating for that long, so she'd only stayed over at my place a few times, and I'd never noticed anything strange about how she slept. I'm a heavy sleeper generally, and I don't really wake up in the night, but I'd always wake up before her and find her sleeping happily next to me. Again though, I really wasn't paying attention, so she got a new tracker. Yesterday, there was a loud knock on my door. Not expecting anyone, I yelled for one of my roommates to go get it. I should probably mention I live with two other girls in this little house near the university we all go to. It's a suburban neighborhood, and the younger girl, Sydney, her parents own it and let us live there cheap. Anyway, Lydia answers the door. "Yo!" she shouted towards my room. "It's your girl!" I was surprised because Annie usually texts me before coming over, and it was still early in the morning and I knew she had a class. She stood in my doorway looking panicked. Her hand was clutching the tracker on her wrist. "Something's wrong," she whispered, leaning towards me so Lydia couldn't hear. We sat in my room and she told me that again. This new one was tracking steps in her sleep. She said it was really freaking her out, even to the point that she set up little things around her house. I remember her saying she put little pieces of paper in the closed door cracks to see if they opened at all at night, and when she woke up, every single one of them had fallen out. I told her it'd be okay. I'm sure it was just a coincidence or she was reading too far into these things. She shouldn't be missing class and stressing out over it. I took her activity tracker and told her to go to her afternoon classes. She could come back and sleep here for the night. Annie stayed over that night and something felt wrong. It wasn't romantic or comfortable, it was strange. I sleep through everything. Lydia always complains about the neighbor's yappy little dog they keep outside waking her up every single morning. She and Sydney both joke that they don't need an alarm clock because of it. At 8 o'clock every day, yappy dog will go completely nuts, but I've never heard it in the morning. Hell, one time Sydney had a raging house party, and after a few hours of being bored of it, I barred myself in my room and slept just fine through the rest. Not this time though, not last night. I woke up feeling utterly panicked at about 3 in the morning. It was pitch black in my room, but I knew Annie wasn't lying next to me anymore. The way the blankets draped across me were all wrong, but I also felt deep down in my gut I shouldn't move a single inch. I shouldn't reach out for her or call her name. I just lay there, my heart pounding in my ears until my eyes adjusted. I kept them half-lidded. I don't know why. I just thought I should still pretend to be asleep. I finally saw it. A dark figure standing right next to me. Her thighs pressed against the mattress. Long hair falling over her face, but definitely staring at me. I knew it had to be Annie, but for some reason it didn't feel like her at all. I closed my eyes fully as I saw her start to move, bending at the waist until her hair-covered face was only inches from mine. I could feel her strange, ragged breath on my face, her hair brushing over me. It was like she was checking if I was still asleep. After a long moment, she stood back up slowly, strangely, and shuffled out of my room. I tried to regulate my breathing and calm my racing heart. I wanted to call out, to scream for Lydia or Sydney, but the paralyzing fear kept me glued to my spot. Time felt warped, like hours passed in a span of a few minutes. When dawn finally approached, I allowed myself to fully open my eyes. It was silent, too silent. Gathering my courage, I reached for my phone on the nightstand. I clicked on the home button, illuminating the screen. A notification popped up from the sleep activity app. I had linked my phone to Annie's tracker just the day before. It read, 11,234 steps. A knot formed in my stomach. She had been walking all over the house. I slowly got out of bed and made my way to the hallway. It was eerily quiet, the sort of silence that weighs heavily on you. As I made my way to the living room, I noticed a trail of water leading from the back door to Lydia's room. I opened her door cautiously. My heart dropped. Lydia's bed was empty, covers thrown aside. Her window was wide open, the curtains billowing with the morning breeze. On the floor lay Sydney's sleep tracker, flashing the same step count, 11,234 steps. But it wasn't just the trackers or the open window that made my blood run cold. Across the wall, written in what seemed to be a mixture of mud and blood, were the words, "She's not alone anymore." There was no sign of Lydia, Sydney, or Annie.